Back in the garage, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Joey Hamilton,
Graham Betchart in the garage.
and we are back for episode 2 of Making Space for Love. We made it.
I can't believe we made it.
We made it. We didn't get canceled. We got an
No.
extension.
What a wild journey so
This
far.
has been nuts.
We don't know what's happening here. We're just showing up, doing the best we can.
I want to thank everybody out there who we shared this with episode 1. We've made a few changes if you watched it instead of listened to it. I have a regular size seat now. I look like a giant, and Graham looked like a little garden gnome the first one because I was so big. And we got a lot of questions about the mannequin. So she's now with us. This is everybody meet Cherry.
We've made space.
We've made space for Cherry.
That's right.
Before we get started today, I do want to do some things we didn't do last time because we didn't know what this was going to turn into. I originally just came over and we were going to ask you some questions, and that was going to be it. But we've got some good feedback and people want to hear more. So
fuck it.
Here we are. I want to start by expanding on your experience a little bit because I feel like last time I just came in, I was like, this is my buddy Graham. He does sports performance stuff, and that was that. But I think people were really interested in what you had to say, and they had questions about how you know what you know and the work you've done. So I'm just going to give you a brief I'm going to give everybody a brief overview.
Yeah, fire away.
Of you, and then you can fill in the gap. So
great.
Graham has a master's in sports psychology.
Yeah.
He is crazy. He is really, really sought after in the world of sports. He has worked with
Sacramento Kings when they went to the playoffs.
Sacramento Kings when they went to the playoffs.
And I've been with the Yukon Huskies men's team.
And they won 2 back-to-back national championships.
And they're pretty good this year, too. Ooh, they might have a chance to get a third one in 4 years.
Yeah. And then you work with a handful of professional players just one-on-one as well. So
yeah. And I just started training kids, helped about 5 kids make the NBA. Then they made the NBA. Then the NBA team started calling me and being like, hey, what are you teaching these kids? And I was like, teaching them to be present, to focus on what's in your control, just the basics. So I worked with several NBA teams, and then businesses started calling, large hedge, like all these companies, and they'd be like, hey, can you come teach us this stuff? And the whole time I'm working with athletes and business, right? Okay, if you can win in sports and make a bunch of money, that normalizes this stuff, right? So people think, oh, this is normal shit. But the whole time I would hear people come to me and go, hey, Graham, great, I'm doing better at sports, but actually, this is helping me in the dating world. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? They'd be like, yeah, man, help me get a couple of dates. Like I was super scared. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I let go of results, got into the process, and oh shit, it worked. And I was like, huh. I wasn't ready to get into dating and shit, right? I'm like, fuck, I'm doing sports. And the more I kept doing this, people would be like, cool. I make money. I'm winning in sports. But hey, this is helping my relationship. Turns out learning to be vulnerable and open up, my partner loves that. And this is what my therapist had been trying to get me to do. And so I just kept hearing that stuff, and I would fight it. I would fight it and fight it. Not fight it, but I would just be like, I'm like, sports and money, And then me and you reconnected a while ago, and it just started happening between us. Like, this is supposed to go in relationship shit. And so here we are. We're just sharing love, man. Just 2 dudes talking love. That's all it is, dude. 2 dudes talking love.
And send us your questions. If there's topics you want to hear about on an episode, let us know, and we'll answer them. We'll answer them on social media, too, if you tag us. But today, we wanted to get into something that we're calling, and I'm stealing this. The first time I ever heard it, I think, was from Brene Brown. But it's the stories we tell ourselves.
Oh, yeah, right? The stories.
And so
stories.
Everyone walks through life with these inner narratives, right?
Yeah,
that are part of your identity, and you get them from different times and different places in your life. A lot of them are developed when you're a child or in those early stages. And then they get reinforced throughout your life, right? So whether it's you're not enough, or
what are some real stories here?
Love is earned conditionally.
Yeah, you got to get some sort of outcome to have love.
You're not worth being chosen, right? Like that's one for me.
That's a big one, huh?
But everybody has these stories that they tell themselves, and you take those through life and you fit those stories into your relationships going forward. And what I've noticed in doing the work with you is that for decades, these stories have just been stuffed inside me, right? So I'm full of stories.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to make space in myself to have a better relationship with myself and better relationship with other people and attract the relationships that I want, I need to unpack that. I need to take all of that, all those old stories out of me.
Fuck yeah.
Right? But what I'm learning is you feel those on the way out.
Yeah. Feels like
Right?
shit
Like,
as you're letting go of those stories.
There's all kinds of stuff. And like one of the things
Feels
I
like
think
shit.
One of the things that you talk about that I think is really important for people to understand is that when you advance yourself emotionally, right? You're never going to get to a spot where you just feel great all the time.
Yeah, right.
And so, especially as you're removing these old things, it's not like you're going to take them out and be like, oh, I feel great. Like you're going to take them out. You're going to feel them coming out just like you felt them getting put in you. And you're going to feel sad and angry and lonely and weird and all of these different things. And one of the things I've been trying to do is just like you said, just sit in those feelings, right?
That's the work.
This is like a glass of water. You can't put more water in a glass that's already full. So if you have a glass of dirty water, you can't fill it with clean water.
Dude, that's
you gotta
it.
pour the water out and make space for that. So let's dig into, some of these stories we tell ourselves.
Dude, you got so much wisdom right there, man. Like, I look at stories like, honestly, just like software, right? So if you go, okay, I'm running a fucking story from 1985, right? Imagine running fucking software from 1985 right now, right? That shit would be full of
like
bugs.
DOS or whatever.
Oh, bro, you're
I don't remember
fucked.
what it was called.
Right? It's got like 1,000 bugs. It's all fucked up. You're letting diseases in.
There's pop-up windows everywhere.
Pop up, and you might just be like, I'm just comfortable with this program, right? So it's like all you know. That's all you know. You just know a software from just making this shit up, 85. Like, what's one of the realest stories you remember from early on that you like bought into? Like, what do you remember?
So I have a recurring thing where my family didn't believe me.
Okay.
Right? It was like, there was I remember one morning, I was in like first grade.
Yeah.
And we had a little kids table in the kitchen. And I was drinking orange juice and I like threw the orange juice up all over the table.
Yeah.
And my mom turned around and said, like, I threw up. And she turned around and she said, no, you didn't. You're just trying to get out of going to school or something. And like in the grand scheme of things, like that doesn't seem like it should be a huge memory, but it was.
But it hit hard.
And then those kinds of things happen. And then the next big one I remember, same kind of thing, was when I was in between my freshman and sophomore year of high school. We had to go to church every weekend. And so like I slept over at a friend's house. So I had to like make up, go to church because my family had gone on Saturday instead. So I biked to church and came around the corner. It just rained. I like skid out and like end up in this ditch.
Okay.
And the front prongs of the gears of my mountain bike ended up in my foot.
Yeah.
And it was torn up. And it was right by church, but like I don't know why I didn't go to church to ask for help. There were people that I knew that lived around, but I just didn't go. So I biked home with this gash in my foot. And I guess my family didn't go to church the night before, so they were actually at church then.
Oh, shit.
So I called my best friend's dad. I was like, Mr. Johnson, I was like, I don't know where my family is. And he came up, he took me to the hospital. I remember my parents getting there and I got yelled at because they thought that I was skipping church and I wasn't actually going.
Damn, reinforcing the story again, huh?
And then, so just to answer your question, like that's a thing
that's
for me.
That's a powerful story.
It's a thing that when I was sick or hurt, that I wasn't believed in a time of need.
Wow, that's powerful. Good identification. So you're realizing the software you were running, you figure out where that story is, and then how often in your life do you find yourself trying to get people to believe you? how often do you play that out, trying to get someone that you already come from? I know you don't believe me. Let me prove to you. Do you find it? Did you find yourself like fucking playing that out?
All the time, and most of the time at work. When
Okay.
I look through my life and I think about the times at work, especially when I've had a female manager or boss, which is
Oh,
very
okay. Look at
interesting.
that. Wow.
Um, I feel like I'm always trying to
Wow.
prove myself or be believed, or just like reinforcing things, like, doing things that, like, wasting energy at work trying to prove
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
when it's not necessary. I could be focusing on something
But
else.
that makes sense though, right? I mean, that's the old software. That's the old story playing itself out. So you're not really like tuned in and present with someone. You're playing something out where you're like, if I can get her approval or get her to recognize me, maybe I'll finally heal that wound. And yeah, how did that work out? Did that work out pretty good or what?
No, it always no, it does not end up
It's
very
okay.
well.
It's okay.
I think now too, like looking back at some relationships, it's always, I don't know if I'm trying to be believed, but I think it has something to do with that thing of like,
Yeah.
choose me, choose me, right? Like,
You can feel the story playing out.
believe me, choose me.
Yeah. But from a deficit. So you're not like okay by yourself already.
Right.
You're like, I'm in a hole. You can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the trap.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that.
Has anyone ever fixed that hole for you?
No, not ever. And I've done enough work at this point where I know that
All right.
that hole, like, I have to heal that hole or just
Now
exist
listen.
with that hole.
I know
Sometimes.
people ask me, like, how does Graham know this shit? Because I fell on my fucking face over and over again and tried to fulfill old stories. And was it like, that's how I figured out that eventually, like, oh shit, you have to write your own story. Like, this old pattern, that ain't it. Even if the new pattern, I don't know a new pattern, it feels crazy vulnerable. It's shitty. Just like we were like, okay, this one's comfortable. The right way might be uncomfortable. It's like, once you at least see the pattern, you got a chance. So that's how I would kind of learn this stuff, is like falling on my face over and over again. So that's why I think with this shit, this isn't a one-time thing, dude. Like, this isn't like, oh, I have awareness, now everything, it's like, cool. Now let's start practicing a little bit. And you struggle through it, fall off, struggle through it, fall off, struggle through it, fall off, struggle through it, fall off. Boom, update your software. But it's not like the first time. So this is the part where I had to learn, as you're going through this shit, you got to have a lot of compassion for yourself. A lot of compassion. I don't know what anyone else's experience is, but as I started to unlock this stuff, sometimes I would be hard on myself. I'd be like, fuck, why didn't you figure it out earlier? Or why did it take you so long? And that's the part I had to have, like, the story had to be like, I have a lot of self-love for myself. I'm easy on myself as I figure this out because I'm unlocking it. And you just try to remind yourself, hey man, that story that hurt when your mom was like, you're lying. Like, you're not trying to go to school. And even if she wasn't trying to hurt you, dude. Like, that's not where her goal wasn't in that moment to be like, now I'd like to plant a fucking story in your head that fucks your life. Like, no, that's not her goal, right? So that helps us have compassion for her too. Coming back to like, maybe I can work on a little forgiveness of where this story came from. Because at first you're like, who the fuck put this into me? And you go, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
can work on forgiving like a little bit. And then it allows me to kind of open up a little more. So it's like learning this shit. I would love that I would learn. I'd love that this was here. Also, I hated this because it fucking is uncomfortable, dude. Like, you got to keep it real. Like, this shit can feel really daunting and uncomfortable. Dude, and think about, like, me and you have known each other forever. We're working on this shit the last couple months. You don't believe this shit's going to work. Like, you're like, keep it real, right? You're like, what is this bullshit? And then a little while later, though.
It's true. I mean, when you first started talking to me, and I was like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, Graham is like out there. Like, what is he saying? And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I was willing to try anything, right? Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
willing to
yeah.
try anything. I'm like, I mean, the thing that I think has helped the most is just repeatedly saying, I love myself unconditionally,
Yeah,
right? Like
dude,
we
that's
talked
a
about
fucking,
last time, and saying it to those deep, dark spots in yourself that you don't
yes.
show to anybody. But I think one of the things in these inner monologues, right?
Yep.
Like, so believe me, choose me, nothing's good enough. Like, a big one for me is like, nothing is good enough.
That story's strong, huh?
Right?
That story's strong.
That story is really strong. And so what's been really hard for me is I describe a lot of things like I have a rational brain where I can tell myself, of course I deserve to be chosen. Of course I deserve to be loved. Of course what I just did was great and deserves to be celebrated, right? But when you've had experiences for your whole life where people or your environments have told you the opposite of that, it's really hard to change your mindset, right? And I know what you're going to say is you're going to say, well, just change it from gray to red in your mind, right? But like for those of us that aren't at your level yet, maybe, or just starting out in this, I guess it could be really hard, right? And so things come up at work or in relationships or just with my kids, right? And those stories pop back up like, oh, that wasn't good enough, or whatever the circumstances is. And it was really, really hard for me to figure out, how do I start to change that voice in my head?
Wow.
And the best thing
Holy shit.
I heard, so my therapist, I was talking about with my therapist a couple weeks ago, and she said, like, of course it's going to be tough for you to change that, right? Like, you have used those stories to protect yourself at times, to survive, to get through the things that you need to get through for years, right? For so long you've had these that they become part of your identity.
That's right.
So the reason it feels so scary to let go of those is because subconsciously I was thinking, I've had these so long they're a part of me. Who am I without them? And that
scary as fuck.
is what was so hard. And once I was able to kind of understand that that's the angle I needed to see these from, instead of being scared, like, oh my God, like, who am I without this? Now I'm like more curious, like, okay, like, who can I be without these things? Like, what is my potential now? Like, what are the things that this was preventing me from doing? What was this blocking for me?
Damn.
Right? And so now I see it as another one of those things that I'm clearing out of the runway, because Graham, it's time to land that motherfucking plane.
Let that fucking plane land.
Shit.
Dude, way to go. Like, that's so fucking powerful what you're doing, man. Like, curiosity and courage. From me just being a part of this for a while, that's my understanding of what confidence is. Confidence is not, I feel amazing and I'm going to go do this because I feel safe. Confidence is, boy, I'm really curious. Like, who am I? And I have to be courageous because I'm scared as fuck. I've never met myself, right? And so we're going into the unknown. The unknown is the fucking scariest thing for human beings. It is for all of us. This is what I like, the rational fucking brain inside of us. Call it logic, call it rational. It's designed to protect us. And it does a pretty good job at a certain level, right? Red light, stop your fucking car. Green light, go. I go and turn the stove on, it's hot. If I put my hand on it, I'll start fucking having a lot of pain. I'll be like, whew, so I don't catch on fire. If I go next to the side of a 500-foot cliff, I'm going to start to feel really fucking uncomfortable near the cliff. Because the humans that didn't feel uncomfortable around heights, they didn't make it. You know what I mean? So we got this fucking hardwiring designed to keep us safe, right? And then at a certain level, it's absolutely dangerous. Because if we let that be in charge, it won't work. Because what you just went into, when we go into these new stories, right? We go into this space, all you're doing is going into the unknown. You've just never been there before. So your mind is like, if I go there, I'm going to fucking die. My rational mind's like, because of this, and this, if we go there, it's over. And so the rational mind has got you to a certain point in life. It can't go any further. Because when you have to take the leap of faith, which is courage and curiosity, right? The rational mind will not do it. Because it's like, no. And so there has to be like some sort of thing where your ass is on fire. You got to have something that makes you want to jump. Because if you don't, you'll just stay right where you are. So these moments where you're coming face to face in your life and you're like, these stories ain't working out no more. I'm fucking terrified to do it, but I also know if I don't jump, I'm in trouble. This is the analogy that always came to me. You're where you are with this old story, this old software. It feels comfortable as fuck. You know it's fucking horrible, right? You're on this platform. Just imagine the place you're standing is on fire. So you're like, if you don't move, you're going to burn to fucking death. And it's a subtle fire, so you probably can't even feel it. But if you look down, it's on fucking fire right now. So we can stay and die, or let's take the jump. Because we're dead anyway.
Either way.
Either fucking way, we're dead. So once you see the fire underneath it, you go, damn, these stories that I inherited from 1993, because when I yacked up orange juice, boy, that's not playing out very well right now. Now I'm extremely comfortable with it, and my mind's convinced me that if anything other than that is terror, this is where you make the move. And you made the move in the last fucking several weeks. And I was like, you're not going to die. And I remember you telling me, you were like, bro, this dude's insane. And then you went and you were like, oh, it does feel like you're going to die. This is you at 12 years old, whenever your shit went down at 10. And that's the part where you be in yourself there and recognize that's a 12-year-old running an old story. So where stories get really, where you can make the growth, is you separate the story from the sensation. So you go, the sensation in my body. Maybe my heart feels tight, right? Maybe like I'm tension in my shoulders. Maybe my heart's pounding. Maybe butterflies in my stomach. Mind racing. The sensation is real. The stories, they're not real. And the warrior part, this is where we call on the warrior, right? This is where you call on that part of you that goes, I want to go see if this shit is real. I want to be curious, because here's the deal. If you go explore the story and take the jump, right, to go see, say it doesn't work, come right back and stand on the fucking thing that's on fire. Die like that. You're already dying.
I guess you're right.
Or come back. There's no risk.
You're so true. Like, you kept telling me, like, if you do these things, you're gonna feel like you're gonna die, and I just kept thinking, oh, he's probably just exaggerating that a little bit so that when it hits, it's not that bad. But for real, when I started exploring, like, who am I without that?
Now come on.
I was like,
scary
panic
as fuck.
and anxiety and holy shit, who the fuck am I? Existential crisis level.
Good crisis.
I was like, I might start leaving my body right now.
Stay in your fucking body.
Right?
Win the fight. That's what you did before.
You know?
You left the body. Now we stay in our fucking body. Now you're healing. Stay in your body when you want to bail. Love myself unconditionally. Make space for love. I love all of me. All of me. You're breathing and then what happens 15 minutes later? You're like, I didn't die.
You're like, wow, like, I'm alive on the other side.
And what?
Of this.
So now,
now I have some insight into what direction I need to go.
And that old story. Now, it'll disappear it won't have the weight on you anymore, because you just, the rational brain, it was like, no, you just said, fuck you, rational brain. You don't know fucking shit. Jump in this other game. You did it. The story, you were totally safe. Now you go back to your rational brain and say, you're not in charge. And it has to agree with you, because you just proved it wrong. And if it goes, no, I am in charge, you go, you're a fucking idiot. At least understand your own logical brain. We just jumped in to the story that you thought would kill us. We weren't even close to fucking dying, asshole. So now the rational brain goes, finally, you're in charge. Why did you fucking put me in charge the whole life? And you go, it's okay. Like, we didn't know it. We were fucking 12. But now as an adult, you know better. And so really what you are is you are what we call a swordless samurai. And a swordless samurai kills old stories. You cannot kill these stories outside of you. Like, you're tempting to, like, say you're in a relationship. It's like, it's this fucking person. That ain't going to do shit for you. The fight is inside. So a swordless samurai goes, let's go explore these stories. I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to be curious. And then once you go explore one story and it turns out to be an illusion, brother, now you know how to fight.
You just knock them all down like dominoes.
Look for them now. Because you're like, well, how many stories? Like, just if you were in your computer going, damn, how much fucked up software do I have in here? Let's run an assessment.
Like a virus check.
Yeah. So let's, like, what kind of fucking stories do I have in here? And don't worry, they'll come out. And they're not going to come out when you want them to come out. They're going to come out when you're fragile. They're going to come out when you're scared. And they're going to come out the moment you don't want to do this work. That story's going to be like, see, shit's all bullshit.
Like, I was right. Listen to me.
And as a hunter of illusionary stories, you got to be like, bitch, I set it up to kill your ass. And as it shows its head, woo!
It's like setting up a decoy.
And so you're hunting it, because it's hunting fucking you. Right now, those stories are living inside of you. And until you have the courage to look at it, right, to kind of face it, embrace it, then you erase it. But if you don't face and embrace, if you run from it and let the story you think it's real, then you're literally living in an illusionary world, which is okay. But then just catch yourself going, look, man, I'm going to fucking die if we don't do this. So let me try some of this story shit. If it doesn't work, I'll come back. So just this is how it always looks to me. It's like a little caterpillar walking up to you, right? A caterpillar going, I don't want to fucking die. And you're like, caterpillar, do you know what happens when you die? And he goes, I ain't got no fucking clue. And I'm like, well, we know you become a butterfly. And you're going to like caterpillar, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? So die to fly is the analogy. Like fucking die on purpose.
Oh, I like that.
And then you're
Die to
like,
fly.
oh. And then you know what someone does when they're flying? They're like, Graham, oh, what the fuck, man? Why'd it take so long? And I'm like, come back to when you were facing this real shit. So that's the compassion. This real shit. It's like, it's real. So you honor the real fear because you're a 12-year-old kid trying to make it, or a 10-year-old, or 8 or 15, whatever, man. It's real. You felt scared. I felt scared. Everyone's felt scared. You lock it up. You freeze it off. You're like, I'm going to stay a fucking caterpillar. No one can touch me. And then you're like a buff caterpillar, but you're like, all your butterfly friends are like, what the fuck, man? Like, time to heal. So die to fly. To die, you have to face your death. And when you face your death, you realize it was a great death. And like, I don't want to get too out there, but I've got a chance to work with some great coaches. I feel fear like everyone. I have fucking stories that come up. This ain't like I'm on some fucking mountaintop being like, children, I'm fucking with you doing this shit like every fucking day. And I was so fucking scared. I'm working with this one coach. Yeah, he goes, yeah, close your eyes, start breathing. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm like, this is it, brother. This is the trauma. And he said, go ahead and die, Graham. I was like, what? He goes, hey, go ahead and die. So I'm in my mind and I let myself die instead of like running, right? And I die in my mind. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like crying. I'm like, man, thank you, brother. And he's just like, man, this is nothing to me. Like, what the fuck you been running from? And I'm like, oh, I've been running from the story that said like, who am I to accept this? So die to fly is a big one. But a caterpillar doesn't die, it just evolves, right? So you like
that.
You can't make a great discovery if you already know what's about to happen. So basically being curious. Ooh. Your rational brain doesn't like that. It wants to know what's going to happen first. That's not how this works. So rational doesn't get to do it. You get to be a discoverer and live in a higher state. And you go, listen, I don't know what's about to happen. And I want to go check it out. Because how can you make a discovery if you already know? So the gift of the present, the gift of the unknown is a real gift. So as you start to put this together, like just take it back to like an athlete context, right? Someone who's got to go perform tonight. You know, an athlete, you know, they might be like, oh, are you going to win tonight? What's your score going to be? Or like, what's your time in the pool? Or how many points you're going to score? An athlete who's not mentally trained well might say some shit like, I'm going to break my record. I'm going to have a great result, right? And they mean well, but they have no idea. An athlete that understands high level of this will say, I have no idea. I have no idea. In fact, I'll never know until we go do it. And I'm actually curious to go see what happens. Me, I'm all fucking in. I'm going to trust my shit ruthlessly and totally accept what happens. I don't even know what's going to happen, and I'm curious, actually. Let's go see.
We were talking, I wish that I had, you know, I worked with a sports psychologist when I was in high school, middle school. Our coach had one for our team, but it was very basic, and I wish that I had these skills because I feel like I would have been a completely different athlete.
Brother, we all needed this shit. That's why we do it. I mean, bring it back to like, instead of an athlete, bring it back to like, okay, I'm on a date. And maybe in your mind, you're like, yeah, like an athlete, like I want to fucking win. If an athlete goes out to perform and is like, I better fucking win, I'm like, you're fucked. You're not focused on the present and trusting your skills. So if we're like on a date, or we're like maybe connecting with another human, and we're like, I gotta get fucking married. I'm like, ooh, be aware of that. That might be one of those things where that pops up, the story pops up. I'm behind on marriage. I better get married on this date. I'm on my date. Let me go. I would just observe that story and take a breath in that moment, and I wouldn't say shit. Because if you say a bunch, that person's going to be like, check, please. And they're going to be like, you just fucking scared me away. Because your story was you were behind. So this is what I sense with people like dating and connecting with humans. I see this all the time. They have a time frame in their mind. And be like, I got to hurry up and get married. I got to hurry up and do this thing. I got to hurry up and do this thing. That's like an athlete saying, I got to hurry up and win. And we know we never want to be sped up under pressure. So we slow down, right? Slow the shit. I'm in a hurry. Slow this shit down, take a breath, right? We call that palms down, right? I don't react to that first story. I don't react. I respond. I take a breath and I move on. So you feel these stories, and you're going to feel it like this, right? And you go, look at that fucking story trying to sabotage me right now. It's telling me to press up on this person I'm on a date on and like try to see if I can get this fucking thing going and get married. And what I'm going to do is in my mind have some gratitude that it's coming out with them. And I'm going to sit here and just like listen. And then you just listen. Don't do shit. Don't act on your story. Have a great time. And then later on that night, you're a fucking winner. And if that person wants to go out with you again or connect more, don't go fucking swallow that person. Be like, no, I fucking got it. Because that's, as you create space for love, real shit's going to start coming. And a part of us, this is what I noticed with myself, as it started to land, you want to swoop it and never lose it. That's how you lose it. So it's like, keep the story will be like, don't lose it. Don't share it. Make sure you grab it. Don't lose it. And you got to be like, that story's lame. So for me, every day, so many fucking stories pop up every fucking day. Some of them are so outrageous. I try my best to not act on them. When I do act on the stories that aren't real, I might do it with my wife or my kids. You end up apologizing later and being like, I fucked up. And then I passed that. Basically, I just got scared. It was like, Tina, or, And so what I've tried to get really good at is own when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
We're fucking humans, man.
It's a big part. And that's recognizing the pattern too, right?
Yeah. I'm not perfect at this, dude. So we call it palms up. When I go palms up and just act on the story, right? And act on it, I know I fucked up. Because I just let it rip through me instead of choosing my response, being mindful, being a warrior, being curious. I just let it rip. And you pass that on to the ones, you tend to pass it on to the ones you love the most, right? And so I've gotten good at, can you recover from those moments? Can you recover?
I think one of the things that I've noticed too in these stories is you said, a lot of times they get put on you when you're younger.
Yeah.
And I've heard you say before, when we talk about things that get brought up from when you're younger, you say like, well, you're an adult now. So maybe 12-year-old you, that wasn't safe for, but now you're an adult and you're safe. One of the things I want to ask though is those stories, I guess I have two questions. One, those stories get repeated in relationships, right? Like I chose people to date and be in relationships with that just mimicked those stories, right? Because it was just so, it was like, I fit in there, right? Like you're going to treat me just like my family treated me and all like where all this happened. And so like, it just feels normal. That was my normal. Right. But then, so you get into adulthood and you're out there, but you're recreating these patterns. You're having the stories reinforced. So how do you say to yourself, well, now I'm an adult and I'm safe. And then my second part to that is, can stories be created in you like that as an adult if you get into certain relationships or certain situations?
Yeah. I mean, you're always writing your own story. Let's say you have a pattern. You recognize a pattern, right? And you're like, I go into this pattern with other people because it's comfortable. And within that pattern, you have no chance of showing them real love because you've created a situation where they're not going to really show you love. So it's a perfect pattern to never actually have to deal with anything. You're doing well when you're like, okay, this ain't the normal pattern. So you don't even necessarily feel an attraction to it, but because it's not comfort, but it's a solid person, right? And as you get into this relationship, that old pattern is going to fucking try to steamroll you. It comes out. So the growth is not the pattern is gone and this new one. It's like, here I am with the full fucking pattern, full force coming at me right now. And I'm with this other person. And you have to have gratitude for that person. This has nothing to do with them. It's just coming out in you as you connect with this person. So as your pattern comes out, you give thanks for it. It's the craziest shit. You go, I'm so glad I can see the pattern. And let the pattern run fucking insane inside of you as you breathe and choose your response. So the pattern will just be like, run, grab him, hold him, don't let him go, don't let him go, hold, like whatever your panic is, right? And you just sit in that moment and breathe and just listen to the person. They could be talking about, hey, man, we had a great dinner, thinking about traveling to Spain. And you're like, grab him, grab him, grab him, right? Grab him, get the love. And as long as you go, wow, I can see the fucking stories. So much trauma is coming up for me in this moment right now. And as long as you don't project it onto the person and you say, hey, here's that moment, I'm letting go of the old software because it's coming up and I'm feeling it, right? And you got to feel it all. And as you feel it all, let it be. Feel all the sensations and don't act on any one of them and just feel all of them. And as you don't act on them, you're doing it. You're going to go through what feels like terror in that moment. You might be at a dinner. I'm just saying, like, you're at a dinner. They're just going, wow, what a great listener this person is. They might be thinking, I've never felt someone be this present in my life and connected because you're not reacting to the story. So that story's inside of you trying to bully you. Let it, because now you're like, hey, story, show up. And I'm going to choose my response. So it's not, get the story away. I hope it never comes up. Run away. It's story. Pop up here on this date as much as you want.
It's like holding power over it.
Yeah.
Right?
So you
like,
say story, pop up, watch. And the story's going to be like, grab her, like, grab Cherry. Don't let it go. And you be like, cool story. Watch this story. You're going to your death right now. Cherry, you're welcome to do whatever you want. And that, Cherry,
wow.
please leave if you'd like to. Please. And inside, it's killer shit. You get calm and you address that fucking story. And you look it in the eyes and be like, today you die. And take it to the fire of freedom. And the fire of freedom just means you're going to feel the story telling you to act, trying to bully you, trying to be in charge. And you just say, it's a fucking setup to let you show up in this moment. Please, Cherry, continue on. And Cherry's going to be like, I might travel the world. I don't know if I want to be with you. I don't know if I believe you. Like all your triggers, right? Hopefully she says them all, or he. And you go, fantastic, Cherry, keep going. And that's the work. And you're going to be in a real fight. So this is how you fight. So anyway, best way to win a war, never fight a war. But the best way to never fight a war is you got to win that motherfucking war inside. So our guest of the day, whoever you're going out with, they're going to bring up your shit. And you go, look at all these old stories popping up. And all you have to do is be with the story, because what'd you do in the past? You ran and tried to get someone to love you. You just acted on the story, right? And the story's like, we're abusing you. We win. And you're never going to, doesn't ever play out well. So you just recognize the story, sit with it, let it run rampant in you. Let it run rampant. And if you just breathe and be with the sensations, ask yourself, are the sensations that bad? I mean, I could walk and slap you right now, and I bet you would hurt more than these. Like, I could hit you really hard. So you're sitting there talking to someone, a story's like, die, grab her. And you just breathe through it. You are whooping its ass. You are in the actual process of upgrading your software. In that fucking moment, you're upgrading. And so we don't react. We respond, right? Big moment. I'm going to find my composure in this moment. This is how I'm going to perform. It's going to be a 3-minute moment on this date. I'm not going to crush and eat her or crush her or gobble her up or stalk her. I'm going to be like, wow, all those things inside of me that feel small, that are so desperate for love. Thank you. I love myself unconditionally. Thank you, Cherry. I love myself unconditionally. And go do your work in that moment and breathe. And you will be fighting the fight of your life. And the person next to you might be having the experience of someone being fully present and being there, because you're actually here now. And then you'll realize that story wasn't too bad. And you just went around with what you thought was death. You went around, then you go sit back down and you're like, it wasn't that bad. And go look across at that software and be like, you got some more? Come on. Hunt that motherfucker.
That's so wild. Like, and as you say that, right, as if you're in a spot where you're able to deal with those stories, breathe through them as they come up, and still be present with somebody, like, to me, how much, like, that builds so much confidence, right? Like, I called you
so much.
Like, last weekend, I was going out with my friend Jeff, and it was like the first time I was like potentially going to be in a place where I was going to put myself out there again, right?
Okay.
Like, maybe it was like, I was like, hey, I'm going out tonight. Like, I want to, like, maybe talk to somebody, right? Or have the conversation. Like, I'll just say it, right? Like, that was really hard for me to say.
That's okay.
Right? But like,
fuck, man.
I was like, Graham, like, I'm going out tonight with my friend Jeff, and like, I think it'd be really, like, one of my goals is just go up to talk to someone. I don't care where it goes, but just have the confidence, because I'm very, like, if I know you, like, I'm very outgoing and I'll do whatever, like, right? But in a situation in public, like in a club or a bar or in the grocery store, if I see him with someone I would like to talk to, I get so nervous. I'm just not that confident.
It's all right.
And the thing you told me was like, just be present,
Yeah.
right? Just be present. And it worked. Like I
Damn.
did talk to people, and like afterwards, it was kind of like, okay, just get through it, right? Like you feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. They're gonna like, slap me in the face and throw a drink on me and set me on fire and, whatever. But you get through it and you're like, you deal with all those stories and there's so much more confidence. And when you learn to be with yourself and then you start interacting with the idea of it, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just going to be curious and I'm going to accept the results no matter what. You just speak so much more from your true self.
Man.
And with so much more confidence. And in turn, like people recognize that energy.
Oh, they feel it, man.
And it attracts
They
people,
feel it.
right? Like, I'll just go into this story. You've already heard it, but we were sitting,
feel it.
Jeff and I were at dinner at this restaurant, and these three women get seated next to us, and they are like the most beautiful women, like maybe that I've ever seen in my town. And guys are coming up to the table and trying to talk to them, and Jeff and I are just having dinner. Like we're just kind of like watching this and laughing at it. And so I'd heard the bartender come up and like they was giving them drinks, and I heard overheard one of them say that like their friend just got their heart broken, right? And I was like, okay, like all right. So I just turned to Jeff, go, Jeff, when we get up to leave, I'm gonna talk to this table. Yeah. And so we get up to leave, and I turn around. They were playing cards. I go, what are you playing? And they were like, oh, we're playing, whatever. I'm like, cool. I'm like, hey, like, I don't mean to impose, but I just heard that one of you got your heart broken. And I was like, is that the situation? And the friend in the middle goes, both of them just did. We're out to like, I'm taking them out so that they can get back out there and do all this stuff. I just turn to them and I go, would you like some unsolicited advice? And I'm sure they thought the dumbest thing ever was going to come out.
You already know they thought some stupid shit was coming.
And they're like, okay. And I said, I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but it gets better. Okay. And the best thing you can do is 100 times a day, say to yourself, I love myself unconditionally. And then when you have those feelings of sadness or missing someone or loneliness or anger or whatever it is, you just sit with those, you let them move through you, and you say to those feelings, I love those parts of me too. And like, they didn't know what to say. They were like, oh my God. And like, I'm not kidding. We talked to them for 30 minutes and we tried to leave at least 2 or 3 times and they would not let us walk out of the door. Sheesh. And we weren't talking, like, it wasn't romantic talk. Like, we weren't trying to like,
dude, this might be the most romantic talk of all time.
But it was wild. It was so wild because I was like speaking, I was being present, I was speaking in the moment. Yeah. It was like overcoming my fear of like talking to really attractive people. And like, it was like the universe was not letting me out of that situation.
You see the power of vulnerability?
It was wild.
Like, you're not in danger. Lean into the vulnerability. Dude, I don't think a lot of people hear men like you sharing shit like that. I think that's some different shit.
I mean, just
an athlete-ass dude.
It was hard for me just to say, like, to tell everybody out here, like, hey, I was talking to Graham and I was like, Graham, like, I want to go, like, my goal tonight is to go, like, talk to people, right? You hear like my voice change when I tell that story. So I'm like, that's like the little me, like, okay, I'm going to be a little vulnerable. Like, this is what I'm, but like, yeah, like, I'll own it. I wanted to be able to go talk to people, right? Like, I wanted to.
Being yourself.
Right?
Authentic you.
And the minute I did, and what I noticed too is the minute that, or I've shared this podcast with a lot of people. I've shared what I've been learning with you with a lot of people. And every time I talk about this, people open up. Damn. Right? And that helps me open up too. And like I talked about last time. Wow. I would put my vulnerability or trauma out there and say, like, was, for years saying, this is my trauma, but really saying this is my wall. And I've been doing that more because I'm talking to people about the stuff that we're doing, but I'm consciously thinking like, okay, if I do this, if I say this, if I bring this into the conversation, it can't be used as a wall. It has to be done with an open heart and done with, I am fully available to whoever I'm sharing this with. And I think when or I've noticed that when I do that, everybody tunes in and turns on, and it's like everyone's thinking about this stuff. It just goes show like everyone is thinking about this. Everyone has these questions, and it's like, well, then why aren't we talking about it? Damn it! Like,
That's
why
what
the
you're
fuck
here
aren't we
for.
talking about it?
Bro, you're like the best dude to
So
bring
like,
this to the world.
that's what we're doing right now.
Isn't it crazy when you like realize how many stories are out there? Dude, I remember when they first introduced this to me, the story was, like literally Donald was like, there's stereotypes against this. And I just was like, no fucking way. That's insane. This is the greatest stuff that's ever existed. And it's like, I'm really grateful right now that like you're here, man, honestly.
But like,
Like you're doing this shit.
it's love, right? Like the reason that people want to know about this, the reason people want to talk about this, the reason people want to tell us their stories when
Yeah.
we talk about this stuff, it all has to come back to love,
Dude,
right?
make it super practical for people. I know we've already said it, but like here's how it really goes down. You feel your stories coming up and you're with other people, right? Your shit's gonna come up. Give thanks to the other people first. Instead of being like, you fucking asshole. It's like, oh, thank you. You're making my shit come up. And then go annihilate those stories by just being with yourself. Let the story run rampant. And as you breathe and just be with it, it'll realize it's an ignorant story. It's just you never let it realize that before because you acted on it. And once you go, just run around. You're like a little child having a temper tantrum in like a fucking store. Go ahead. Like ain't nothing happening. And you just observe it, breathe, let the story and feel all the feel. When you're upgrading your software, you're gonna feel all the feels. Why that's positive is because you shut those feelings down when you were young to protect yourself. So now feel them. The feelings aren't that bad. The stories will be fucking.
The stories are awful.
The stories are insanity, and for the most part, you think you're gonna die. Like that's the
Mhm.
extreme.
Like,
Like
no
that'll
joke.
be there in some form. Go die.
And it's almost like the feelings of fear about the story,
Yeah.
right? It's like that's what feels so bad because you talk about like, right, the stories aren't real,
No.
right? The stories aren't real.
You
Like,
just don't know it's
I'm
not
worthy
real,
of
though.
love.
Yes.
I know that more rationally, right? I'm trying to get there emotionally, but the feeling of the story
Come
of
on.
that is awful. And
It's
so
the
you just
worst.
gotta like
It's the
step up
worst.
and kill it and be like, come on, let's do this.
Go fight. Like we're in a fight. We call it swordless samurai. Just so you kind of like gear up for this. Like when I was telling you about my first teacher who ran the SF Healing Center, her teacher's book is a book on weapons. This ain't no fucking joke. And the weapon's not a physical spear, but it might be the spear of awareness, right? Where you're like, I'm aware this story's a story. That's a fucking savage weapon. Because you're like, let the story come up. Watch me fucking destroy it. Because my spear of awareness is savage. Or you have arrows of, truth. Whatever. You're like, that story's not true. What's true? I'm breathing and I'm actually safe. I have 10,000 arrows. And so you start to just bring all of this stuff into these moments you want to bail, and you just go win these fights. Go win the fights, and you can win them every day. And what I've noticed about these, you don't get like a scheduled moment for this. Like, hey, Joey, this is going to happen at 4 o'clock today. It's random, it comes out of nowhere, and you don't get a warning. So you might be driving your car, and whoa, it just hits you. You might be in the store, like picking your child up. It comes. When it comes, give thanks for it. And be like, I'm down to fight you right now. Because it's a bully. So you don't put it aside and say, no, I got to handle it. Like me and you are talking, boom, and it pops up. I'd be like, oh, handle that shit right now. Like if someone walked in this room and put you in a fucking headlock, I wouldn't be like, cool, we're going to deal with that in like an hour. And you're like, I'd be like, bro, I would fucking fight immediately. So when you feel the story start to squeeze you a little bit, and I look at it like it gets around your neck, it'll squeeze you a little bit. You go, I see what's going on. Put a hand underneath it and be like, don't get your fucking hands on me. Play it out and be like, play out the story. And go through your moment. And then the back end of that, good rest, you got to eat. This is not just I stay in a mental space, dude, exercise. All the basic stuff will help it so you ground yourself here. Because you can do this and you can get high as fuck off this, right? Like just, oh my God, it's all there. I'm like, you got to sleep tonight. You got to eat, exercise. So as you start to unlock yourself, you start to ground yourself so you can be here on the earth. Because if you're just on the corner, like pulsating with fucking light coming through you, you might be in like a place of Christ-like consciousness and shit. But your kids are like, what the fuck are you doing, dumbass? We need lunch. Like basic shit has to function. So, this is like, I've noticed that helps. Like, you really got to have some good practices. Like, I make sure I exercise every day. That's what grounds me.
That's so true.
You
Like
know what I mean?
I was telling you yesterday, I was talking with a friend before I went to sleep, and she was like, "How was your day?" And I was like, "The best description I could come up with, like, it was filled with the whole day. Every single part of it was filled with love.
Wow.
I had this amazing day. Like, woke up, went with Donald, we did some interviews, came back, ate lunch, like had this great meal, and then I like actually had time to take a nap. And then
Shit.
friends came over afterwards,
Yeah.
and we had this totally deep conversation. All of this stuff about love got brought into it, and everyone was receptive, and it was just, I just felt like it was filling my heart up so big that I couldn't contain it, and I like literally couldn't go to sleep because I had that
It's
energy
normal.
inside
Totally.
me, but I had to go to sleep,
Yeah, yeah.
and I slept. I went to like left the conversation, went to bed early, like woke up this morning, went to work out, and had like I was driving over here, and normally when I've been driving lately, I've just been trying to catch up with friends because I've been so busy, and I was gonna
Yeah.
call a friend, and he called me yesterday. It was like it's a beautiful day here, like
It's gorgeous. Birds are chirping.
I can't see a cloud in the sky, and I'm driving over from the East Bay. I'm coming over the Bay Bridge, like through San Francisco, and then like down, and you see the coast. And I was just like, I'm not calling. I'm just gonna be with myself because I need this time
There you go.
to kind of like you said, like ground myself
Yeah,
from what
yeah.
happened yesterday, so that I don't just
Dude, way to go.
chase the rabbit, right?
Dude, it's like every day. We like to say this is a devotional practice. So every day you kind of read, okay, where am I? Because every day is different, you know? And you're unlocking some stories now and doing that. Who knows 5 years from now what gets unlocked? As you make the reads, like energy is real, right? So you unlock it and you feel this palpable energy. And then you're like, okay, I'm living the human experience. I got to fucking sleep tonight. So I would start to tell the energy as I unlocked it. My wife helped me out with this a lot. Is you got to have boundaries. So it's excited that you're unlocking it. It's fucking excited because you're going into all things are possible and you're going into like this infinite space. And so I would talk the energy and be like, hey, I need to go to fucking bed at night. So fucking give me a break. Like, at a certain point, like shut it off. And then tomorrow I'm down. Like I could do this with you again. Like we can work together. But I was like, if you just run this all night like a bender, and we're just on an energy bender, in 3 days I'm gonna get sick, right? You get sick, you're run
Mm-hmm.
down, like all these things happen because you're a fucking human. So I started to work on boundaries,
That's crazy because
boundaries.
for those of you that don't know Graham or haven't known Graham for a long time, like I always think like he doesn't, when I see him or when we hang out, like he doesn't shut this off. Like when I call him, he's like this, or he'll be sending me ideas about the show or about other things that we're working on personally together. And like, so the one thing that I do know is like you'll go to the gym a lot,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Like, is that your way?
Yeah, and clearly it's not to win a fucking bodybuilding contest. It's okay. I go to manage energy. So I'm like, okay, I do like an AM workout, right? It kind of gets me centered. I call it like a moving meditation, right? Gets me in my body. I get a sweat. I feel better. I feel more present. I feel less reactionary in life, right? It's like juice to help me do this work. And I go through the day, what I learned is, oh, I need one on the back end to kind of be like, and now your day is done. And so again, I'm not doing some insane ass shit, but I'll go hit, like I've worked out today. I'll go hit it whenever we're done today. I'll be like, cool. I'm going to go like hit the gym and like, boom, that's my like marker for like, cool, you did it today. And then as I start to come home, shit, I'm on Netflix, vegging out with the kids, video games, anything that's not total fucking alignment with like, it's like, no, I got to fucking start doing off time. And so I've gotten pretty good at that. I learned that the hard way by not having boundaries. And you just run and you think this is a drug that keeps going and like that doesn't work. And so I've learned a little bit. And so people are like, oh man, how do you work out twice a day? I'm like, it's not even like I'm like, I gotta go work out. I'm more like, just put a cap on the day. I do want to put a cap on the day, and I want to start the day. And I found those two practices are really, really fucking good. And it could be anything you want. I got a gym around me. It's a 24-hour gym. I got a little like key, so I can hit it anytime. I
Going
like to do
time.
like the Stairmaster, just basic shit. Like I might get on the Stairmaster for an hour in the morning, and I'll listen to "I Love Myself Unconditionally" the whole time. So I'm just on the Stairmaster, but I'm getting some reps in of like "I love myself." It's like programming. I'm getting a great sweat. I get off the Stairmaster. I just feel more centered. I'm like, oh, I can do better now, and so that helps. That I've made that my devotional thing every day. And then when I work with people doing this, I'm like, okay, what are the things that ground you here? You don't have to do it like me, but it's good to have a practice to be like, what's the start and end to your day? Or else, because energy does not know a start or end. It doesn't know death. It's just like, it's just, it's going. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, you can get some boundaries with it. And now we're operating like an athlete. If you think about like an athlete, most of their life is training and rest, and then they perform a small amount of time. We've gotten into a place in life where we just perform, burn ourselves out, and very, very rarely train and rest. You're just making it to where like every day you kind of have these practical things that allow you to kind of like center your energy, rejuvenate it, rest it, and try to bring it the next day. Am I perfect at it? No, no, but that's what I try to do. I'm pretty good with both workouts, and I've gotten to the place where my body craves it.
Hmm.
So it's not about like I'm not motivated to do it all the time. Fuck no, I don't feel motivated. But I know if I go do this, it feels pretty good on the back end.
That's where I'm at too. It's
Yeah.
like if I don't get up and go in the morning, then I know what it's gonna feel like. And they're like this morning, I had to go to a really early
Class.
class
Yeah.
because I had to be over here. But I knew like in the middle, I'm going like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is so like my body just doesn't feel good right now. But now I feel great, and I knew when I was
Yeah.
doing it, it felt great. And I think that's a lot of the work that we're talking about here too, right? It's like
That's exactly it.
it's gonna be scary. It's gonna feel like you're gonna die. But if you do it once, right? Like I've done it once, maybe twice,
Yeah.
in the last few months. And when you know you're not going to die and you know what it's going to feel like and the confidence that you're going to have on
Yeah.
the other side of it, like you want to keep going.
That's it. That's why we look at this like training. So like working out, right? Sometimes workouts might be a little uncomfortable, or like you said, didn't feel like doing it this morning, right? We all fucking feel that. Everyone, right? And you go, yeah, but this is important for me to do because this sets the stage for you to be able to do this inner work, right? To be able to do it, you got to have that. So you go show up and work out, feels uncomfortable as you start, and then by the time you're done, you're like, man, I feel amazing. So devotion is the sweetest emotion. You just get it on the back end. Motivation is a front end thing, devotion is a back end thing. So if you're waiting for the front end to feel good, then I do it. By definition, that's fragile because it's not going to be there all the time. If you're like, let me go fucking do it and get it on the back end, it'll always be there on the back end. And so once you do it a few times, you realize I can feel like shit. I don't necessarily want to feel like shit all day. That's what helps me go do it. So I'm like, I would rather feel a little bit different, right? I don't want to feel like shit. And so I shift that, and working out is kind of, without working out, there's no way I do any of this shit.
So bringing it back to the idea of, the stories that we all carry with each other,
Yeah. Stories.
what are things that people who are listening can do, like top three things
Yeah. Okay.
when you start to hear those stories, what do you do with them?
Write it down. Just start to build your awareness. Just notice the stories. So if you can say, I see the story, that means you're not the story. Sometimes we think we are the story, right? You're just
Ooh.
going in life. So if you're sitting there and your mind's like, fuck Graham, like, don't listen to him. No one's ever listened to you. This is all bullshit. Instead of acting on that, just be like, look at the story right now.
It's just a story. You're
And
like separating yourself.
if you can say, I see the story, clearly you're not the fucking story. You're the observer. So you want to become the observer.
Okay.
And you say, or the watcher, or the witness. And you could be like, I witnessed the craziest stories in my head right now. They're like, certain death is coming. What a wild story. And as long as you can say, I see the story, there's a gap. And as long as there's a gap, you're starting to get whole. And so just point them out to start. You might be talking to a friend and your mind is like, don't trust this bitch. Or like, never, I don't trust any men. I hate all men. Right? Or so, just something like that. And you go, oh shit, I see the story. And you go, there's a story of definitive hate. And you just call it out. You didn't know it, but you would say your stories out loud to me. And I would be like, you're full of shit. You'd be like, I can't do this and that. And I'd be like, oh, you're stating it like it's a truth. And you were living on that. And I would chop it up in front of you. And then you got to the point of like, oh, do you see the story? And once you see it, you're like 90% there. Then when the story comes up, just let it be and breathe. And it's going to try to entice you to act on it. So the very first practical step, maybe you have a journal. Some people love journaling. I love taking notes, or I do like voice memos of like, oh shit, I just saw the story. It was saying no one loves me when I'm a child. You'll always be alone. Holy fuck, I see it. So just start there. Just start there, and by observing the stories, there's separation, and you'll start to, separate yourself from being in it.
That's so great and so simple. Just if you see it, you're clearly not.
State it out loud. Like if you see a hustle, state it out loud.
Say
that person's hustling people. Say it out loud, and then the hustle's gone.
If you see something, say
if
something.
If you see something, say something. Say it to yourself, because real quick you'll just be acting on it. You might be like, oh shit, found myself in some road rage shit, and I'm interacting with someone I don't know. What was the story? This person fucked you over, and you got to go get them. If you just observe that story, and then observe how much magnetism is pulling towards it. Oh, a lot of magnetism. Let me observe the magnetism. I'm not getting in it. Now you're a warrior. Now you're winning a fight. And if the main thing with the story is, if you give it juice, it's alive. So once you start to identify the story and say, I see the story, and you start to choose another path of just like nothing, you just pause, you're draining it of its juice. This is where I like to get savage in these moments.
Let's do it.
Like think of yourself like a goddamn warrior, because that story's been choking you out for how long? And it's had no mercy on you every second of every day. So you acknowledge a worthy opponent. Worthy. Now when it tries to suck my blood, I'm going to let it fucking die in front of me as best I can. And I'm going to feel all the feels. And you look at that story and be like, today you fucking die. You've been killing me the whole life. So respect it. Observe it. The swordless samurai is, I kill stories. And how many stories? I don't know, as many as I need to fucking kill. Don't even put a number on it. Don't worry. Just be like, whatever. In this lifetime, if you're coming for me with a story, I got something for you. So come on, come for me. Come for me again. Because you ain't getting to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That story ain't getting passed down to my fucking kids. You ain't passing it to my family. You ain't passing it fucking anywhere. And how long has that story been living? 400, 500, 600 years? I don't know. How long has it came? Where'd it come from? My mama let it through? Cool. You don't get through me. So, and that's how you create generational health.
That's right? Amazing. And so for anyone who missed the first episode, I talk a lot about Graham's confidence in this field, and he's so confident because he's done this for decades and he knows that it works, right? Like I made the analogy of I could teach anyone to swim because I know that what I'm teaching works. And I will say this for anyone who's starting out on this journey, right, of creating space for love in yourself so that you can find it in other parts of your life, you're probably not at the confidence level of Graham. If you are, then I'm not sure why you're listening to us right now. But
right.
I'll say from personal experience that before you get in that first fight that Graham's talking about, you will be scared shitless.
That's okay.
But the minute you make it through your first one, there's like a little bit of hope. And the more you do this, the more you say to yourself things like, I love myself unconditionally, right? The more you challenge your stories, the more you recognize your patterns, that confidence grows and grows and grows. And by no means am I at a point where Graham is right now.
Don't worry, man.
But in the last few weeks, I've noticed that confidence grow in me.
That's right.
And I'm at the point where like I'm standing up for myself. I'm like, I'm not going to take shit from anybody.
There you go.
I think it's really important for people to know that whatever your starting point is right now,
that's right,
is fine and it's okay. And you don't have to feel like you have the confidence. And when you
No.
don't have the confidence, that's like literally where you catch yourself saying, I'm not confident in this right
Just
now,
notice that.
but I love that part of me too.
There you go. And just, we've all had good trainers and coaches. They seem absurd at times. They're standing next to you and you're like, I can't do this. And they're like laughing. They're like, this is fucking nothing. Try it. That's all my confidence is. It's just knowing I had to jump into space and be courage. I didn't fucking have any confidence. You do it for a little while and then you're like, turns out it's not even that fucking big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
The big deal is at first you just don't know. Then as you start to get into it, you start to figure it out. I'm just the trainer next to you and you're like, can I do the set? I'm like, fucking breathe and do 4 more reps. You're fine. You don't even know how strong you are. You're fucking incredibly strong. And so like a great trainer and coach, that's all I try to be. I can never do the work for you, but I can be right by your side and have an absurd level of fucking confidence. And then once you do this for a while, you realize it's not absurd.
And if you get too scared the first time and you say you want to go back to the horrible space that you were in,
Go
then
back.
you can go back there and wait and try again, right? Like the
Dude,
opportunity will always be there for
there's
you.
no perfection. I didn't learn this one day and then had it. I'm talking fucking every day trying, falling down, standing up, falling down, standing up. Couple steps forward, 8 steps back, 3 steps forward, step back. You know, it feels like fucking this, like, And as you keep doing it, you're like, oh shit, though, it works. Like, shit works. And then as you do it for a while, things start to make more sense. Like when my first teacher just looked me in the eyes and giggled, I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I'll never be where you are. And now I kind of look and I go, damn, it's totally possible.
Now you're giggling at me.
Now I'm giggling. So I'm like, dude, it's totally possible. You know, my role here on earth was to help people with it. They hit me with this in the 90s as a male athlete. Not too many doing it. So I just, I just rolled with it, man, and did the best I can. So any confidence you feel from me, let that rub off onto you when you're facing that scary thing. And just like my teacher helped me, just know I'm giggling. When you're looking at that scary thing, I'll be like, oh, let's go get at that because it's scared of us actually. So just I'm with you. I'm with you on this. And it's almost like it's almost beyond confidence. Like when I think about confidence, it's not even confidence. It's just like because I still feel the same
Like
shit.
absolute truth. Like
Yeah,
you
you
just
just
know it.
know. Like if you were like, oh, Graham, like you're not sitting in a chair. And I'd be like, oh, like I'm not going to argue with you. I'm like, I'm fucking sitting in a chair. If you can't see the chair, that's okay. It's not that I have confidence. I just see it.
Right.
Because I've done work to see it. So if you're like, you just see the stories, I'm like, cool, right past the story is all your freedom. And you're like, I'm going to die. I'm like, you're not. But I already know what's going to pop up, only because I've been there.
Right.
And when I was like, I'm going to die, my first teacher was like, she was like, oh, well, good. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with it? And then you don't die and your love opens up and you can have intimate relationships and all these cool things. So look at this like training. Just look at this like training. I think sometimes we get into this mental space and it's supposed to be like, it's touchy-feely. I'm like, this is fucking training. Let's train. And then just like a good workout, shit works. And all we're working on here is form. So when you're like, I'm going to die, let me see your form. You're great. Knock it out. You're not going to die. Like a good trainer, if you're like, my back hurts, they're not like, use your back and whip it up. You're like, no, learn to use your legs. Like, I'm just giving you form. You're totally safe. Now, if you do this stuff, refuse to sleep, refuse to work out, refuse to eat, just run wild, then you're just doing whatever the fuck you want. Like, that's like someone learning how to exercise and they don't do anything after that, and they're gonna hurt yourself. So just come back to the basics. Know we're doing it together. I feel the same shit you feel. I may have just done it a few times, so I'm okay with the unknown. Where you might be like, this is my first time doing it. So that's the scary piece. But then once you do it a few times, how is it?
You get through it and you learn that you are not going to die and you have the confidence to do it again and you understand that it's worth it on the other side.
Bro, you're a story killer. This is what I found out about stories too. As you start to get to the real story in your life, that's when shit gets different. So your first stories, that was just implanted by your childhood, some trauma, right? Stories form, whatever. If you get a chance to work through that in life, which is what I call privilege, if you're privileged enough to understand how this works, and then you do it, you can get to, well, what's the other story? Like, what am I really here for? You think I fucking thought I'd be doing relationship shit? My story was, you go help athletes. That was a protective way for me to be like, athletes are cool. I don't ever want to get to like What I've always ever been doing is relationship shit, Joey. I just never felt comfortable to share it with the world because my story was, Graham, who the fuck are you to do this? You're going to talk about relationships? Who are you to talk about love? I'm like, you could talk about sports a little bit. That makes sense. Maybe business, even music a little bit. But this, we have a fuck like this just started happening. And so for me, like me going, oh, this might be what this really is. I've had people tell me who were pretty bright who were like, you're not here to do sports, right? And I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm a goddamn athlete. This is what I do. This is like a man. And they were like, oh, no. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And so here we are doing this, and we can't explain how this is taken off. I hope it's helping you. We can't explain this shit. We're just here doing it. We got a good vibe. We've been friends for 25 years, so we're letting it rip. But like, to me, this is like, I'm curious to see where this story goes.
It's amazing. It's been so much fun. And so I think we promised people last time that we're going to go out in the street and talk to people. I think that is going to happen this week.
Yeah,
so stay tuned for that.
Let's do that shit.
But like Graham said, we hope this is helping people. If you have questions, write us, DM us.
Yeah, anything.
In the comments. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the different things.
And when you ask questions, it's not like we're sitting here thinking we know all the answers. I don't know shit. We just try to do the best we can, and if it's there, we'll try to help. But like, don't think we're like we know like the truth. This is just what we've learned, and we just want to share it. Yep. We just want to share this shit. So we're just two bros talking about love, talking about making space for love. And we've heard that's not the most common thing, so we're grateful.
And this time we got Cherry. We're gonna have Cherry with us for now.
We made space for Cherry.
Thanks for tuning in. That was episode 2, and we'll see you in the future.
Cool.